Have you ever pondered what it truly means to know something? This was the question that haunted the mind of one man, John Locke. In the annals of history, there are few who have grappled with the mysteries of human understanding quite as thoroughly as Locke. Born in the modest village of Rington, England, in the year 1632, Locke was a product of the 17th century, a time of intellectual ferment known as the Enlightenment. This era was marked by a radical shift in thinking, a move away from the dogmas of the past and towards the embrace of reason and evidence. It was a time when the world was awakening to new ideas about the nature of reality, knowledge, and human nature itself. Amidst this intellectual whirlwind, young Locke found himself at the prestigious Westminster School in London. Here, surrounded by the best minds of his generation, he was exposed to a world of ideas that would shape his life and work. But who was John Locke, really? He was more than just a scholar. Locke was a thinker, a questioner, a man perpetually in search of understanding. He was not content to accept the world as it was presented to him. He wanted to peel back the layers of reality, to probe the very essence of knowledge itself. His was a journey that began in the hallowed halls of academia, where he was first introduced to the philosophical ideas that would come to define his life. But it was not in these institutions that Locke would find his answers. No. His true education began when he stepped outside the confines of the classroom and into the world of philosophy. A life of privilege and education awaited him, but it was the world of philosophy that would eventually consume his thoughts. From the streets of London to the salons of Paris, from the universities of Oxford to the courts of kings, Locke's quest for understanding led him on a journey through the heart of the Enlightenment and into the annals of history. His ideas would shape the world in ways he could never have imagined. But that, dear listener, is a story for another time. For now, let us delve deeper into the life and ideas of this remarkable man as we explore the enigma of the mind, the world, according to John Locke. Locke's journey into the depths of the human mind wasn't an immediate one. It was a journey that began not with philosophy, but with medicine and the intricate mysteries of the human body. In the mid-17th century, a young John Locke found himself amidst the hallowed halls of Oxford University, a place steeped in tradition and scholarly pursuits. Here he immersed himself in the study of medicine, showing an early interest in the physical workings of the human body. However, fate had other plans. Locke's life took a turn when he crossed paths with a man named Lord Ashley. Ashley, a prominent political figure, was destined to become the Earl of Shaftesbury, a title that would bring him considerable influence. This chance meeting, as destiny would have it, marked a significant turning point in Locke's intellectual journey. Lord Ashley was a man of great intellect and political acumen. He recognized the potential in Locke and took him under his wing. Locke's medical knowledge proved invaluable, particularly when he successfully performed a life-saving liver operation on Ashley. This operation not only saved Ashley's life, but also cemented a bond between the two men, a bond that would have profound implications for Locke's future intellectual pursuits. As Locke spent more time around Ashley, he found himself exposed to new ideas, new discussions, and a new world, the world of politics and philosophy. Ashley was a prominent figure in these fields, and his influence on Locke was immense. Locke began to question, to think, to philosophize. The human body, which he had studied in such depth, no longer held his complete fascination. Instead, he found himself drawn to the human mind, to the questions of knowledge, belief, and understanding. And so Locke's interest began to shift. The man who had studied medicine, who had saved lives with his hands, now found himself drawn to the world of abstract thought. His fascination with the human body turned into a fascination with the human mind. Under the influence of Shaftesbury, Locke began to explore the mysteries of human understanding, and thus his journey on the road to philosophy truly began. Locke's most revolutionary idea was perhaps the concept of tabula rasa, or the mind as a blank slate. Dive with me now into the depths of this fascinating notion. Imagine a newborn child. According to Locke, this infant arrives in our world with an untouched mind, an empty vessel ready to be filled. It's a compelling image, isn't it? This idea, so novel and radical in its time, proposed that we are born without innate ideas. Our minds, Locke argued, are not pre-stocked warehouses, but rather empty canvases waiting to be painted upon by the brushstrokes of experience. And what is the paint, you might wonder? It is nothing more than the sensory information we gather from the world around us. Locke believed that knowledge, in all its complexity and richness, is derived from our experiences and perceptions. Now you might be wondering, where did Locke present these groundbreaking ideas? The answer lies in his seminal work, An Essay Concerning Human Understanding. In this monumental piece of philosophical literature, Locke laid bare his thoughts on the human mind and knowledge acquisition. His words echo through the corridors of time, influencing countless minds and thought. The publication of this work marked a pivotal moment in philosophical history. Locke's ideas were like a stone thrown into the calm waters of accepted knowledge, sending ripples across the surface that disturbed the status quo. His theories challenged the dominant view, proposing that our understanding of the world is not a product of innate knowledge, but rather a result of our interactions with our surroundings. His proposition was radical, audacious even. It questioned the very foundations of knowledge, shaking the established beliefs to their core. But it was this audacity, this willingness to question and explore, that set the stage for a philosophical revolution. Locke's ideas challenged the very foundations of knowledge, setting the stage for a philosophical revolution. But Locke's philosophical curiosity didn't stop at the mind. He also ventured into the realm of political philosophy. One of Locke's most significant contributions to this sphere is his work, Two Treatises of Government. Here he laid the groundwork for many ideas that we now perceive as fundamental in democratic societies. Let's delve into these theories a bit, shall we? Locke was a fierce advocate for the separation of powers, a concept that forms the backbone of many modern constitutions. He believed that to prevent the misuse of power, it's essential to divide it among different entities. Hence, he proposed a system where the legislative, executive, and federative powers operate independently, providing a system of checks and balances. Then there's the social contract, another cornerstone of Locke's political philosophy. In his eyes, governments are formed when individuals willingly surrender a portion of their freedom to an established authority. This authority, in turn, is obliged to protect their natural rights, a reciprocal agreement that forms the very essence of civil society. And speaking of natural rights, Locke's political philosophy is perhaps best known for his profound belief in the inherent rights to life, liberty, and property. He asserted that these rights are innate, not granted by governments or rulers. They are the birthright of every individual, and any government that fails to protect these rights loses its legitimacy. Locke's views on property were particularly revolutionary. He saw property as a natural extension of labor, a tangible manifestation of one's life and freedom. When a person mixes their labor with nature, they acquire a claim over the resulting product. This idea would later inform the capitalist ethos and the principle of private ownership. Locke's political philosophy would have profound implications, shaping the very foundation of democratic societies. His theories on government, individual rights, and property are not only central to our understanding of liberal democracy, but also continue to resonate in our modern political discourse. Indeed, the echo of Locke's thoughts can still be heard in the corridors of power today. Locke's ideas echo through the centuries, leaving a lasting impact on both philosophy and politics. As we delve into the legacy of John Locke, we find ourselves at the heart of the Enlightenment, a period in history defined by a surge in intellectual and philosophical activity. Locke's ideas were the spark that ignited this bright era, inspiring the likes of Voltaire and Rousseau. His belief in reason and empirical evidence as the keys to knowledge was a beacon for these Enlightenment thinkers who championed reason, challenged tradition, and questioned authority. Voltaire, the French philosopher, found in Locke's works a powerful argument against religious dogma and unthinking obedience to authority. Rousseau, another prominent figure of the Enlightenment, drew from Locke's thoughts about the natural rights of individuals. These ideas, once radical, became the cornerstone of Enlightenment philosophy, paving the way for revolutionary changes in society, politics, and human rights. But Locke's influence did not stop at the borders of Europe. His ideas crossed oceans, reaching the shores of the New World. The American Revolution, a turning point in history, was fueled by Locke's political philosophy. His belief in the social contract, that governments exist to serve the people, not the other way around, was a radical departure from the divine right of kings. His influence is most vividly seen in the Declaration of Independence. The immortal words "life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness" echo Locke's own philosophy of the inalienable rights of individuals. The American Revolution and the subsequent birth of the United States were, in many ways, the realization of Locke's philosophies on government and individual rights. From the depths of his mind, John Locke changed the way we think about knowledge, government, and our very selves. His legacy truly is the world we know today.